Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today we have another Start Collecting Warcry video for you, and we're going to focus on the Soulblight Gravelords, and in particular the Deathrattle part of the faction within the Warcry game. Now, you can form mixed armies of Soulblight Gravelords doing, vampires and Deathrattle and Deadwalkers all together. But I thought there's really two ways to get into this force, and that is either playing with your Deathrattle stuff or playing with your vampiric stuff. And there's two different sort of ways I want to look at this, and in this first video we're going to look at the Soulblight Gravelords Deathrattle side. So, for starters, I think a fantastic way to get into Soulblight Gravelords for Warcry is pick up the Soulblight Guard Box. This is a box set that originally came out for Warhammer Underworlds. It not only comes with cards, so it's at a nice little cheap price, and you get a cool variety of models, each which you can build up some cool character with. I think a great thing about this box over, say, the generic sort of skeleton box is you're going to get all these unique models with different poses that you're going to be able to easily and instantly tell across the battlefield of which model is sort of which as you get to know your warband that little bit better. You also do get a model that can quite easily represent a leader early on. You've got the actual warband's leader who can quite well represent a skeleton champion for the start with a nice big cape there, or later down the line, if he's no longer needed as a champion, you could easily use him as just a regular skeleton warrior with spear. This is a nice little cheap box set. It doesn't really have all that many points in there, so you are probably going to need to expand on this sooner rather than later. But it does give you 6 skeleton warriors with a variety of different weapons. You can even count, I guess, the guy at the back right there as a Graveguard model. He's got a two-handed sword, he's fully armored, pretty easily Graveguard representative. And you've got the cool model here with the shield and the spear and the cloak. That's easily your skeleton champion, or you could easily use him to represent a White King model as well. Or I can just swap out that spear for a sword and you've got a cool White King there. But what we're going to talk about after this though is we're going to talk about how we can look to expand this box set, because there's not really an awful lot to talk about. Skeletons are pretty basic. 50 renown for a single model, the skeleton champion being 70, and they've got 2 attacks. Generally it's either they've either got 2 attacks with spears or 3 attacks with their swords. They're both strength 3 and they're both 1 damage normally, but the spears do have a crit of 4 rather than the swords 3. So you got a few different parts to trade off. Same sort of stat line, move 3, defense 4, and 8 wounds apiece. All pretty standard stuff there. So let's look at how we can expand this force outwards. So how do we look at expanding outwards? Now, the models I've got here, we've got both versions of the White King you can easily use to expand upon. We've already talked about how you could easily convert up a White King on foot. We've also got Graveguard and Black Knights. Now, the White King on Skeletal Steed I know is only available in the Start Collecting Soulblight Gravelords box, but maybe that's your next pickup because it does give you all the options for everything Deathrattle you could possibly want in your force. It's going to give you access to all the different Graveguard variations, and it's also going to give you access to the Black Knights as well. So let's talk a little bit about all of these. First of all, the White King and the White King on Skeletal Steed are 2 actual leader options that are hero leaders. So they're a little bit more powerful. They come in at 170 points and 225 respectively, and they've got some pretty cool damage on them. They're nothing too major to write home about though. A defensive 5 on both of them is really nice. And with your White King on Skeletal Steed, a movement of 8 is, while rather slow in, I guess, cavalry terms, quite fast for a lot of death models. They both got a sort of different attacks. So we have with the White King on foot, he's got 4 attacks at strength 4, 2-5 for his damage and crit rating. And then we've got 3 attacks with the White King on Skeletal Steed, but he has a strength of 5 and 2-5 for his crit rating as well. So you're getting 1 less attack with the White King on Skeletal Steed, but you are getting an extra strength in there. So that's sort of a decision up to you on what you want to do. Personally, I think the White King on Skeletal Steed is an absolute steal for his points. Considering you're going to get a lot of cheap bodies around him, pretty cool. You could easily include both though. We've then got the different variations of Deathrattle troops. So we have the Black Knights, who are 140 for their Essential, or the Hell Knight, and 110 for the General Black Knights. They're not too bad. They got movement 8, once again, pretty fast for death, and 18 wounds on a generic Black Knight is nice. 2 attacks, 3 for its strength, and then 1-4, and a defensive 4 is solid as well. We've then got the Graveguard, the Essential. He's pretty cool at 125, but then 70 and 70 for both variations of the Graveguard. For me, I really do like the idea of the Crypt Blade and Crypt Shields. You've got that defensive 4, which is really cool. And you've got a really good sort of crit rating here. Though with the Great White Blades, you get that strength of 5. But I think with the Deathrattle, you're really here to just win by numbers and just attrition and grind. So I think it's going with the ones that are going to stay in the fight longer rather than the ones that are going to do the damage that will serve you well. So ability-wise here, we've only got a few of these that we have access to with Deathrattle as the pure faction here to be running with our Soulblight Gravelords. But to start off with, we've got the double Shambling Horde. So a fighter can use this ability only if they're within 6 inches of a visible friendly fighter with the leader rune mark. This fighter can make a bonus move action a number of inches equal to the value of this ability. This is really great. Generally with the Skeleton Horde sort of style of play that you're going to be doing with your Soulblight Gravelords using Deathrattle as your main focus, you're going to be quite slow. So this is a really good, simple double here that's going to allow you just to get that extra movement out of your troops. The other main fighter ability we get is we get the triple ability Deathly Charge, and this is available to our Black Knights and our Undead White King on Skeletal Steed. So until the end of the fighter's activation, the next time this fighter finishes a move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, pick a visible fighter within 1 inch of them. Allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of his ability to that fighter. So this is really cool for like double charging, hopefully doing enough damage to sort of wipe someone out that's weakened and then attack the other one with your full weight of attacks with, you know, your Black Knights or your White King, etc. A really cool ability is for that little bit extra splash damage that you otherwise might not get. Into our leader abilities, so we've got one major one here, which is Beheading Strike. That's available to both our White Kings. So you add half the value of this ability for a double, rounding up to the number of the damage points allocated to the critical hits for the next attack action. It is critical hits, so that does have its weaknesses there. So that's something to consider, but it is really cool and able to put some extra bit of damage, and it's only a double as well. I don't so much mind these doubles that are relying on criticals when they are doubles. It's when they're, you know, triples or quads and they're costing me a lot more, they become an issue. Speaking of triple, we have a really cool triple that's available to everything in Soulblight Gravelords, which really makes it fun that you can run this all Skeleton Horde Soulblight Gravelords force, which is Summon Undead Minions. So you can pick a friendly fighter with the minion rune mark that has been taken down, so that their friendly fighter wants more of the battlefield on the battlefield wholly within 3 inches of this fighter. That fighter no longer counts as being taken down and has no damage points allocated, so it brings them back to full health as well. This is awesome. Just allows you to, you know, keep in the fight. It's a triple. It's really the only triple you're going to really use all that much when you're playing full Deathrattle, which is fun. Like, you're just going to be able to run these cool undead hordes on the table, and I really like that you can do it. It's fun. It gives a real thematic feel, you know, a White King. We haven't seen like White Kings be able to do much in like full armies for a while. And the fact we can play like them like this in Warcry is really cool. But what we're going to do next is we're going to look at a little sample force we put together of the Deathrattle for the Soulblight Gravelords, and you can let us know what you think. So we've got our little Soulblight Gravelords Warband here. This is going to come in at 5 renown shy of 1,000, so great for starting out a campaign with. For starters, we've got the 2 White Kings here, and I want to talk a little bit about what you should consider when maybe picking your leader out of the 2 of them. So obviously you can have, you know, that secondary leader now in Warcry, but I think there's the consideration to make here. First of all, your White King on Skeletal Steed is just more survivable. He's got more wounds, so this just simply makes him more survivable. However, he is a bigger target. I think the White King on foot is actually the better leader for the Warband proper for this single reason. My main reason is that he is going to be with the bulk of your force, while the White King on Skeletal Steed is going to be more of an outflanking sort of maneuvering piece on the battlefield. I think you're going to find with this particular combo of the 2 White Kings here, you're going to have the White King on his Skeletal Steed requiring all your doubles there to use Shambling Horde to help himself and the other minions there move around to get that extra bit of movement on them. Meanwhile, your White King that's on foot is going to be sitting around using Summon Undead Minions and just keeping the grind going with the 2 Graveguard doing the damage and the 7 Skeleton Warriors he's going to be bringing along with him. This Skeleton Warrior and Graveguard bunch is pretty much just going to shamble across the field together, led by your White King, who's going to keep providing them what they need to do, and your White King on Skeletal Steed and the singular Black Knight are going to be able to go around and just sort of take out threats, go around, try and get your opponent's shooting units off the table, etc. and stuff like that. It's a really interesting sort of dynamic here where you've got that little outflanking force and a main sort of body that's just going to move slowly up and take across the board. It'd be a fun little force to play out, and I can't wait to get trying out something like this. I've been really liking the idea of taking a full Deathrattle force for Warcry. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your ideas on this. Have you been running the Soulblight Gravelords and Warcry? Their rules only just came out, so it'd be really interesting if anyone's had any experience with them at all. Let us know in the comments below, but I hope to get some Warcry battle reports on the channel very soon, and I can't wait to try out this particular build. Well, thank you all for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Also, while you're at it, why not come chat more with us on Discord? We've got a link in the description of the video below to our Discord server. You can come chat with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who helps support the channel in various different ways. First of all, to our Patreon members, Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, James Crowder, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, MJ, and Dyna226. Thank you to, as well, our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Fire Titan, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turai12, Vinny, and Lock Lorick. And a special thanks to our artist who does all the channel art for us, Lady Witchfox Art, thank you very much. And to our Discord moderator, Xmorphic, you do a fantastic job on Discord for us as well. Thank you all, everyone, for watching. If you'd like to help support on Patreon or YouTube member or help support the channel in another way, you can do so by following one of the links in the description of the video to Patreon or YouTube members, or go buy some Sinful Gaming merch from our Teespring store, also linked in the video's description. That's it for today, everyone. Thank you again. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.